These aren't just short nails, they're bitten to the bone. My client Anna has been biting her nails for years, and like many nail biters, she used to tell me, nothing ever looks good on my hands. I knew we had to change that, so I picked the shape that is soft, practical, and is going to look great on her nails. I'm going to use dual forms and polygel. Will it work? Let's find out. This is my client Anna, and currently her nails look like this. We have some bitten skin, we have some hangnails, and a little leftovers from the previous extensions we did a while ago. We will start with product removal, and I will be using ceramic bead, and the speed is almost max 28,000 rotations per minute. Hello guys, I'm Anastasia, international nail expert and educator. If you are new here, Anna is my regular client, and we've been working with her nails for quite a while, but unfortunately due to my relocation we're not able to do her nails on a regular basis, but whenever I come to visit, I'm happy to do her nails again. Whenever we do extensions and then we do fills on time, which for her is usually 2 to 3 weeks, not more than that, usually there are no problems. But whenever something happens, like a small crack or only one nail is broken, or there's little lifting on one nail, I figured that it works like a trigger for her, and she's trying to bite the skin, and usually it ends up like this. We have all nails missing. So to avoid that, we definitely need to continue with fills on a regular basis. So let's do manicure and cuticle care, which in her case is super important, and she has so many cuts around her cuticles, some hangnails, so we will be extra careful with that. So first I'm going to push back the skin with metallic pusher, and then I will be using the other side of the pusher to clean the spreading part of the cuticle. Usually when working with nails like this, we have so much excess cuticles and dry skin, which is typical, because whenever we are biting the nails, the body thinks that there is some damage, and it sends more cells to recover the skin as fast as possible. So the more you bite the skin or pull the hangnails, the more dry skin and hangnails are going to be there. So the best option is to do cuticle care, to do manicure, so there will be no hangnails and loose skin remaining, so there will be nothing to bite, and then keep it that way for as long as possible. Then we proceed to dry manicure. Also, I think this is the best solution here. I get so many questions like, Anastasia, why don't you use a regular soak in the water method? Well, normally when she has these cuts and wounds around her cuticle, you cannot use cuticle softener on them. If you read the instruction, it says that it's supposed to be used only on healthy skin. With e-file, it's possible to work with these cuticles because I can simply avoid these areas where we have cuts, areas that are sensitive. I'm simply not going to touch them. And by the way, usually these cuts are higher. They're not on the nail plate area, right? And when I'm using this diamond flame shaped bit, I'm mostly pushing back the cuticles. So normally I'm not even touching these cuts. So first I need to push back the cuticles to clean all this excess dry skin from the side grooves from the cuticle area. And this is very important. If you will not clean it fully, if there will be still some skin remaining, then it doesn't matter what kind of product you apply. Even if you do overlay or extensions, the product is not going to adhere to the natural nail plate, and it's going to lift and fall off pretty quickly. That's why this part, the nail prep, is super important. When working with nails like this, it's going to take a while. Yes, this is not a super fast process, but we are not rushing anywhere usually whenever I book a service for Anna, I have this extra time because I know that this part, the nail prep and the cuticle care, is usually taking longer. By the way, the next part with the product application usually takes less time because her nails and her fingers are so tiny and small that I don't really need to apply much product on them. So whenever I prep the cuticles, I push them back and I slightly open up the skin fold so I can reach the nail plate finally, and then we need to remove the surface shine with 180 grit. With Anna's nails, this is not the easiest thing to do because her nails are so tiny and I also want to avoid touching her skin. That's why I'm not trimming the cuticles yet. I do this prep first, I remove the surface shine, and only after that I gently trim the cuticles. But at this time I didn't really have to do that. I only did it to some hangnails and to loose skin because most of them were gone after we did dry manicure. Now they look so much better, so clean, and they look longer, right? I think after pushing up the cuticles and doing this prep, they look so pretty already. So now we need to find the perfect sizes of the dual forms. Today we will be using polygel and dual form technique, and with these nails it may be confusing a little because we always want to make them not too wide because we want to make them more narrow, but you cannot choose the dual form that's not too small. When in doubt, it's actually better to take the one that's slightly bigger. Then we need to apply dehydrator, non-acid primer, and since we will be applying polygel, we also need a thin layer of the base coat. When applying the base coat, make sure that you cover the surface of the nail plate, but you are not touching not only the skin, but it's also not flooding this area on the side grooves. This is a very common mistake. Once it's flooded with the base coat, then you will try to apply gel or color, and they will also try to flood this area because they will follow the path of the base coat. So if you did accidentally, clean it right away before curing in the nail lamp. Usually I apply base coat on one nail, and then while it's curing in the lamp, I do it on the opposite hand. So this way I know that it's not flooding the sidewalls, especially when working with nails like Anna's. Then I'm going to use this nude polygel and apply it in the dual form and build the nail like we normally do. Thin cuticle area, thicker apex area, and a little thin on the free edge. And I just can't help myself, but I keep forgetting how small Anna's nails are, and I always take more than I'm supposed to, so I'm afraid we're making them too long again. Oh well, we'll do some extra filing. So then we freeze cure them for about 10 to 15 seconds, and I can smooth out the area underneath the nail to avoid some extra filing. And after flash curing it for about 15 seconds, then we can fully cure it in the big lamp for about 1 minute. Using polygel on short Bitten nails is very convenient because they technically work like a mold. They create this perfect, flawless shape for you. And once I apply it, I can also remove this excess product from the sidewalls after flash curing. So once the product is not fully set yet, we can slightly clean it. Same thing with the area underneath. If you turn the hand around and the product is too hard, you're not able to touch it, to move it with a nail brush, that means it's already cured, and unfortunately now the only way to fix it is to file it. But if you do it early, after 10 to 15 seconds of flash curing, then it should work. But keep in mind, I'm always mentioning these times, these cure times, but they may slightly differ depending on the product you're using, on the lamp you're using, and on the amount of product you apply. You need to find your own perfect formula. So whenever I was doing this application, I realized that, oh my god, her nails are about to be crazy long. I just keep forgetting that she doesn't really need that much of a length. We just need to go a little further then her actual finger, and that's it. But also we are about to experiment with this new nail shape that I never ever tried on short bitten nails yet. I don't know how it's going to be. Well, we'll see that in a moment. And if you're first time here, I have the entire playlist with Anna's nails transformation. I think we've been doing them for 4 years already. I will leave the link in the description so you can check it out, and you will be surprised when you will see how Anna's nails used to look few years before that. They were even shorter than now. After fully curing in LED for 1 minute, the best part of all dual form extensions, we take them off and now we see this beautiful flawless shape. But unfortunately I applied a bit too much on some of them, so they're a bit long. So I'm going to file them shorter with ceramic bead, and this time I'm going to try this square oval shape. Since Anna is my client for over 4 years now, we've been experimenting a lot with different products, different shapes, and Anna loves square shape, and sometimes we're doing square nails. But from practical point of view, oval shape is usually the one that works best for her, because there are no corners, there is nothing to bite that much, so usually it lasted longer. So this time we are doing a compromise. We are doing a combination of these two shapes, which is called square oval. So technically it's a square if you look from the side view, because it has this straight parallel sides, and then it has this rounded edge on the free edge. So we're doing square oval. We use dual forms, so we also need to slightly file this area near the cuticle and along the sidewall to remove the excess product. Usually it's pretty simple and quick with polygel. I'm using carbide bead with green abrasive mark. This is how I make sure that this area is absolutely smooth. We don't have any excess product here. We have super nice smooth nails. I cannot believe that when dual forms appeared on the market for the first time, it was a while ago, I was so skeptical about it. I didn't like them. I didn't use them because I thought, oh, this is for those who don't know how to do nails. Like, come on, real professionals only use traditional paper forms. I honestly thought that this is for lazy people. But later, when polygel came around, I realized that together with polygel, this is actually the perfect tool. And it can be so helpful when working with certain nail types, such as Anna's nails, short bitten nails. So now I love them and use them a lot. So whenever you feel skeptical and you're not sure about some new technology coming up, give it a try first. Don't be like me back then. So then I filed the sidewalls. I'm using a thin wooden file because this is the only file that can reach these furthest areas when we have puffy sidewalls. And then I'm taking a soft 240 grit buffer to buff the surface, because after taking off the dual forms we have this super shiny surface, and if we try to apply the glossy top coat on top of it right away, it's going to chip after a while. That's why we need to buff the surface. Looks like we have these gorgeous natural looking nails. It's hard to tell that these are not her real nails, right? So Anna's still working as a chef at the restaurant, and she's not allowed to do any kind of flashy nail art. That's why this time we're doing simple, like natural nail extensions. We seal them with a glossy top coat, then I wash them with a special cleansing foam, and this is the outcome. So we tried different shapes on her. Like I said, Anna really likes square shape. From practical point of view, oval is really good, but this square oval shape is really something. Let me guys know what you think. Does it suit Anna's hands? I personally like how it looks. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.